Hello, I'm Player State and welcome to a new indie game video. In this video we're going to take a look at Laws of Nadragia and the Steam Next Fest demo. This is kind of a game that's a bit like Phoenix Wright, but also mixes in a kind of, I guess, bit of Papers, Please, and allows you to freely move about and investigate. You're working for like a new totalitarian state. So you're a prosecutor and you've got to prosecute various cases. It's up to you to decide who you think is guilty and who isn't, and then kind of prosecute the case accordingly. I think you kind of go out and find information, and then depending on who you find guilty and who you don't, that kind of affects how the people feel about the state. So yeah, it sounds interesting. So let's jump in. In Laws of Nadragia, you will be required to participate in court sessions. The game remembers your decisions and changes the story depending on them. Each trial can be lost if you fail to meet the allotted time. But a lost trial does not necessarily mean the end of the game. Occasionally, loss of a trial is part of the game. This is the way to feel like a real prosecutor. However, there should be enough time for each trial. Play with timer, play without timer. I guess play with timer? Interesting that you got the choice. Voice of Nadragia. Power to the people. Captured in his palace, the king and the revolutionaries were able to come to an agreement. From now on, the power of the people of Nadragia will be represented by a new deliberative body, the Supreme Collegium. At the same time, the power of the king is preserved. All the decisions of ruling the country will be made jointly by the king and the Supreme Collegium. The necessary bloodshed is coming to an end. Old laws to the flames. From this day on, all the old laws of Nadragia are declared invalid. The Supreme College and the King have begun to create new ones. Monitor the changes to avoid unnecessary beheadings. By decree of the Supreme Collegium, it has been decided to execute the former accusers. New prosecutors will be recruited from the bastards to unite peasants and the nobility. What on earth? Okay, whatever. Verified by the Ministry of Truth. Okay. Let's go into the play, I guess. Talk to this bloke. Hey, you! Yes, you! Me? You were the one appointed, right? Are you a new prosecutor? Yes. Aiden Fair. Today is my first day at work. Being late on your first day at work is bad manners, even for a prosecutor. Guilty. It won't happen again. Nice to hear this. My ears are in ecstasy. Okay. I am the General Intendant of Nadragia's Supreme Collegium. My duties include checking the work of all the institutions of the judicial system. The country needs you, colleague. The state needs you. We are all colleagues in Nadragia. We work together for the benefit of the people. But time waits for no one, and even more so for you. Soon enough, we'll get to know each other much closer, prosecutor. In the meantime, a short tour around the castle. The castle? This place is the former residence of Lord Magnus. After the revolution, he kindly agreed to provide his castle for the needs of the Supreme Collegium. The castle has just finished urgent reconstruction to be used as the new courtrooms yesterday. The number of lawless and anarchists is growing. Your first court hearing should start today. To the left of the entrance are the offices of the Secretary, the Court Detective, and Madam Chief Justice. Visit them often. To the right are the courtrooms. Your courtroom is number 2. Get used to it. Now you will spend most of your life there. A colleague prosecutor is already waiting for you there to bring you up to date and test your skills. Don't make him wait too long. Courtroom number 2. Test trial. All clear? Move! Quite like the juxtaposition of the kind of like pixel art and the more animated hand-drawn kind of. Start work in court today. You will no longer be able to walk around the castle until tomorrow morning. Yeah, whatever. Start the trial, man. Yeah, and these kind of like... I suppose they're also pixelated. It's kind of, yeah, it just looks a bit different. Anyway. Oh, so your Excellency finally took their time to appear in court in person. Mate, I've just got in. Did you sleep well? Good afternoon. I got delayed by some circumstances. Ha! Don't worry about it. I'm just making fun of you. Silly. It's the same with all the rookies around here. My name is Glum. Prosecutor Glum. But you can just call me Glum. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Aiden. Aiden Fair. But from now on, try to come to court on time. We're running out of time anyway, as always. Well, the cart that drove me to the castle had a wheel knocked off by a stone or something halfway here. I had to run. So, our immediate superior is Madam Chief Justice. She can't meet you today and asked me to personally check your skills. Therefore, today, according to the plan, you have the first training court trial with me, and then 2 real ones. And also, keep in mind, this training trial is more for you than for me. If you can't get a verdict in time during training or deny the case, you'll still have to go to the real ones. I see. I have no experience as a prosecutor. As with almost all the new prosecutors appointed by the Supreme Collegium, it's okay. You'll get to figure it out soon enough. Okay, to the point. As you may have noticed, there are 2 documents in front of you. The Code of Laws and Facts of this case. Think of them as your personal cheat sheets, which you can use during the trial. In the course of the trial, new facts may appear or some of the existing laws may change, okay? That's interesting. During the trial, the judge, the accused, and the witnesses will make speeches, declare something. Watch closely what they say. Declaring something, that should probably be. Your task is simple enough. Check the laws and facts with what they say, and protest right away, pointing to an article of the law or a fact. Got that. But how do I know when to protest? When is there a contradiction? What do you mean by how? This is the job of a real prosecutor. Listen carefully to the testimony and find contradictions in it. You have to think about every sentence said in court. No one will stand behind you and whisper all the answers in your ear. You have to keep in mind everything that was said earlier and quickly analyse the situation. Oh, that sounds difficult. Well, that's what we're here for. To test your skills. Let's give it a try. Open the law book on the first page. I'm going to say a phrase now, and you're going to try and find a contradiction with the law. Okay? Only the king can change the laws of Nagragia. I think I missed something. I need to point out the law or fact that contradicts what has been said. Only the king can change the laws of Nagragia. That's wrong. Something is wrong. I think that there is a law or fact that I need to point at right now. Because the law and punishment. Boom. It is written in the law book that laws can only be changed by the king together with the Supreme Collegium. True. As you can see, you're not completely hopeless, huh? Good. Now we are going to conduct your test trial. Wasn't what you just did a test? That's funny. I would even dare to say it was very witty, colleague. But no. Now we are going to test you. And, also, as I've already told you, no one will tell you which page to look for and what to say anymore. Study all the pages of the laws and facts in front of you. And don't be in a rush. You'll always have time before the trial to look through everything. Have you ever been to the theatre? Consider it a performance, like in a theatre. I will play the roles of judge and defendant, and you will be yourself. Well, are you ready? Then I'll become a judge. How'd you like me now? A natural judge, aren't I? What's so funny? Oh, come on. At work, you don't often get a chance to officially have some fun dressing up. Greetings, colleague prosecutor. Is the prosecution ready? Yeah? Yeah, Glum. I mean, yes, Your Honour. I'm ready. Lovely. Are you ready, accused? Ready, Your Honour. I declare the court session Nagragia against the accused Glum open. Timer starts now. Prosecutor, you can start by declaring the accusation statement of the case. Something is wrong. I think that there is a law or fact I need to point to right now. Vegetable vendor Glum is accused of murder. Defendant Glum is charged with murder, Your Honor. Is that so? It means that today we have a murderer in court. I object! Until there is a guilty verdict, I should be called the accused, not the murderer. Denied. This is a training trial. You are me, which means you can't protest yourself. Ho. Prosecutor, I ask you to continue. Points after points. Who died? The deceased is a fruit vendor Bloom. Your Honor. He was killed by a musket shot to the head. From a musket shot? Are these the long-barreled powder guns that the city guards carry? That should mean that suicide can be ruled out. I object. There are also short-barreled muskets. These are issued to guards of a higher rank. Is that so? I didn't know about that. Prosecutor, is it known what kind of barrel the musket had from which the shot was fired? Short or long? Was Death's musket shot? No one worked in the same market. Junior was drunk. Musket lost a drum. The door to the barn was locked and Drum had to knock it out. The barn has no windows. A musket found that is short, isn't it? Oh, wait. So Chief Guard Drum. Collie, I do not understand how this. Well, because he's the Chief Guard, so he can't have had a short. Musket belongs to Drum, maybe? Short or long one? No, I do not understand. I'm losing time here. The door was locked. I mean, there's this here, but I can't select it. Okay, so it's that. There's a lead, Your Honor. There was a musket next to the body. According to this high-quality detective's drawing, the musket looks one-handed and with a short barrel. Intriguing. Very intriguing. Muskets are not so easy to get, and, if I remember correctly from your words, the defendant is a simple merchant. Is it known where he got this musket from? Yes, Your Honor. The musket belongs to the one who captured Glum at the scene of the crime. Guard Chief Drum. Wow. The musket of the Guard Chief? I think we should hear the testimony of witnesses. Yes, Your Honor. Colleague Drum, please take the witness stand. I'm glad to serve the people, the Supreme Collegian, and the King. Colleague Drum, please tell the court your version of the events that day. Certainly. It was evening and my service was coming to an end. I decided to have a couple of drinks at the tavern. Are you allowed to drink on duty? Not on duty, no, Your Honor. But there are no directives nor prohibitions on my actions after the end of duty. I literally drank only a couple of beers, after which I heard a shot. Where exactly did the shots come from? From the barn at the tavern, where animals are kept. And do you remember exactly how many shots were fired? One shot. And, probably, there could not have been many of them if they were fired from a single musket. Loading a musket is long and hard, and by that time I had already reacted. Sure, and what did you do? Of course, I rushed to check who was shooting. I thought that someone might need my assistance. When I rushed inside, there were two people in the barn. One of them, Bloom, was lying on the ground. Blood was pouring from his head. An apple was lying nearby. He was already dead. 5 meters away from the body, near the entrance, Glum was kneeling. The musket lay beside him, and the air smelled of gunpowder. I immediately grabbed my musket and arrested Glum. How could you... You can't, you didn't have it, that's wrong. Your musket? That's right, Your Honor. don't remember exactly where my musket disappeared, but I'm pretty sure Glum stole it. I object! It could be anyone's musket. This is my musket. It can't be a coincidence that my musket disappeared and another stolen musket was fired a moment later. And do you have any proof that this is your musket? Do you really think that I won't recognise my own musket or something? That's a lie. It could have been anyone's musket. I think I missed something. It works in the same way. During the rest of the was drunk, the musket, the door to the barn was locked and Drum had to knock it out. The barn had no windows. What are the new facts? I just have to scroll along. The shot sound was heard in the evening. Loading a musket is long and hard. There was an apple next to the body. Is there anything in here? I don't think there's anything in here, is there? That is right. The defendant must prove that he's not guilty. Murder or assault on a state servant, death by execution, threat of possession of exploded unauthorized entry to the state property, death by execution. The cause of death was a musket shot to the head. Musket next to the Bloom's body by the chief guard Drum. I can't see what immediately would be obviously wrong. I think I missed something. It could have been any. I mean, it could have been any. Oh wait, no, because it's muskets are only given to guards. Is that on here? It could have been. It couldn't have been anybody's musket because only short ones are given to. I'm afraid, Mr. Glum, that we have irrefutable evidence. This is Drum's musket. Take a look at the musket itself. Oh, it says DR on it. Ah, you idiot. Two carved letters are clearly visible on it, D and R. What? This is an abbreviation of the name Drum. Isn't that right, Mr. Drum? Did you carve your own name on your musket? Yes. You see, I was very proud when I was given this musket. I decided to make it more personal. This, of course, is not according to the statute, but many high-ranking guardsmen do this. So you, Mr. Glum, actually stole this musket from Drum. I don't know. I'm not. Oh, well, okay, maybe I borrowed this musket from Drum. But that doesn't prove that I killed Bloom. Bloom was my friend. Anyone could have entered this barn, shoot him, and leave unnoticed. The door was locked. Mr. Drum, in your testimony, you missed one important detail that is listed on my list of facts. Oh, yes? And which one exactly? You didn't mention that the door to the barn at the tavern was locked. Ah, yes, precisely. When I ran up to the barn, it was closed. I shouted for the door to be unlocked, but there was no answer. I had to kick down the door. Let me clarify. Locked from the inside? Yes. It was a simple door with latches inside and outside. Only the inner one was closed. Which is exactly what we needed to prove, Your Honour. The accused Glum was the only one who could have fired the shots. Only he could close the door from the inside. Lies! You're all lying! The criminal could have escaped through the window. The barn has no windows. Alas, Mr. Glum, but you are not focused enough. The fact is that there are no windows in this barn. How? It can't be. I'm afraid it can, Mr. Glum. You stole a musket and shot Bloom in cold blood in the barn. No one else could have done it except you. You were alone in a room locked from the inside. Lighten your soul and confess. But you missed something. What are you speaking of exactly? Why would I do that? Why would I kill Bloom? And much so in a crowded tavern. I mean, you work together and you were competitors. Everything is simple. Mr. Glum, you and Bloom were competitors in the same market. You were selling vegetables and Bloom was selling fruits. You decided to remove a competitor. No! 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 It wasn't like that. Not like that? Then how exactly? Spit it out, Mr. Glum. Clear your conscience. It was an accident. I wasn't going to kill him. We were just having fun. Having fun with guns. How is that? Were you out of your mind? I can't take it anymore. I refuse to answer this question. I think I now have everything I need to understand his motive. There must be some object that will indicate why he and Bloom went to the barn with a musket. I mean, because they were drunk? No, that's not it. Maybe something at the crime scene. I mean, there was shouldn't have been there. It was the apple. Where is it? There was an apple next to the body. Really? So that's the thing. I now understand what you and Bloom were doing in the barn. But how could you have been so dumb? Oh, he was trying to shoot the apple off his head. Well, I don't understand a thing. Colleague prosecutor, enlighten the court about your revelation. The apple, Your Honour. Glum and Bloom stole a musket and went to the barn to hit the bullseye. You're not. You mean that? Yes, Your Honour. Glum really wasn't aiming at Bloom, but instead at the apple that Bloom placed on his head. Oh! The one God be he righteous. But why, colleague prosecutor? Glum doesn't look like an idiot. They couldn't have been so stupid not to guess how it would end. Could they? Yes, because they're drunk. I think I missed something. I need to point out the law or fact that contradicts what has been said. Come on. I'm afraid, Your Honour, they were drunk. When Glum was detained, he was completely intoxicated. Mr. Glum, did you really shoot your friend whilst trying to knock an apple off his head? Yes. Yes, that's what happened. Just like you said. Bloom and I got drunk that night, and I don't remember exactly which one of us offered to steal the musket, but this drum of yours didn't watch after it at all. To take that musket, it was a piece of cake. I remember that after a couple of minutes, we already happily ran outside. We entered the barn and closed the latch so that no one would disturb us. And then he went to the other end of the barn, and when I realised what I had done, I didn't know what to do. Our families were so close. Oh my goodness. What will his wife say? This is all extremely sad, Mr. Glum, but the law is the law. Wait! Ha! The law is the law, right? Ha! You can't execute me for killing him. I beg your pardon? Let's have a look. Attempted prosecution. Defense right. I need to personally defend himself. God, must prove himself is guilty. Subject immediate execution. The code is enacted. The code can be changed by the current version of the code is sent by the government daily. Don't see anything in here. I mean, it's state property, is it not? I don't know. I beg your pardon. Code of Laws and Punishments of Nadragia, Article 1. Murder or assault on a state servant. Bloom never served the state. He was a simple merchant, like me. Ha! You have no law to execute me. I did not expect such filthiness from you, the accused. You killed your friend and now you are taking advantage of the imperfections of the laws of Nadragia. You disgust me. Didn't he unauthorized enter into state property? Ha! Have you already imagined a noose around my neck? There is no law according to which Glum, the vegetable merchant, will be executed. Possession of an explosive, does that count? I mean, a gun is not an explosive. Theft of state property. Theft of state property. Code of Laws and Punishments of Nadragia, Article 2. Theft of state property. I mean, this is like... I mean, we are in a totalitarian state, I guess, but like theft of state property, death. Possession of an explosive. Death. Unauthorized entry into state property. Death. What? But I didn't steal anything from the state. It was quick of you to forget, Mr. Glum, that the musket is a weapon issued to the guardsman by the kingdom state of Nadragia. No. Don't do this. Listen to me. I have a family. I have children. It was an accident. I've heard enough. Mr. Glum, a vegetable merchant at the local market. How much do you need? I will pay any amount. Just tell me how. Pursuant to Article 2 of the Code of Laws and Punishments of Nadragia, you are sentenced to death by firing squad. Take him away. Phew. Well, we can stop this theatre now. And you were great, I tell you. Gave me a beating, huh? I told you you'd get used to it quickly. Thank you. And you play your role incredibly well. You know what they say. The court is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. I'm not sure that this phrase sounds like that. Isn't it? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you'll make an excellent prosecutor. A couple of tips for last. Remember that you always have time before the start of the trial to study all the laws and facts about the case. Do not interrupt the judge or witnesses without a reason. It is better to think longer before unreasonably shouting out facts. At the same time, check every phrase, every word spoken in court before continuing the conversation. Always think, are there any contradictions with facts or laws? If you understand that the accused is not guilty, then you can refuse the prosecution and end the trial. Of course, only until a verdict is passed or he confesses. What else? Oh, yes. Not all the facts that you have written down will always be necessary and useful to you. Your job, among other things, is to understand what is relevant and what is not. But at the same time, do not throw some fact or law out of your head just because you have already used it in court. It may come in handy again. And finally, do not forget to speak with your colleagues before the trial. Perhaps some useful acquaintances will help you in the future. Thank you, Glum. You literally helped me out today. I don't know what I would do in a real court without this training. So, what's the time? Wow! We're a little late here. Your first real case is about to begin. And don't worry so much. If you can repeat what you just did, you will be an outstanding prosecutor. Guilty verdict achieved. Alright. We've played the test case. I don't think I've got time to play. If I play this one, it'll be another half hour. So let's just... can I get out of this? So that's Laws of Nadragia. I've not played any Phoenix Wright myself, but from what I understand about the game, that's pretty similar. It's kind of like got a similar feel to it. But yeah, that's quite good. I was impressed with the writing. It's quite well done. Well, obviously it has to be in a game like this, but not always the case. And the mechanics pretty easy to grasp. I think the one, it's kind of like having to sit through. You go, oh, I think I'm supposed to say something here, and then wait for the person to say their whole line again before you can actually jump in. You should be able to kind of like jump in, I think, whilst they're still saying the line. Because you don't always know when you're supposed to interject, but I guess that's the tutorial, so it might not be like that in the real case. But I think it will probably just hint you again that you have to look for the right piece of information. But yeah, that was good fun. Laws of Nadragia. As I say, it's Steam Next Fest demo. So I'll put a link in the description. You can check it out and maybe wishlist if it seems like your kind of thing. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.